Becky is back. The Queen, Charlotte Flair, reigns supreme once again, and Roman Reigns gets a big beastie surprise. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the first ever AFS SummerSlam After Show. My name is Christy Olson, and we are going to be breaking down all that action I just mentioned from tonight's show. And joining me tonight is somebody who you all know pretty well, the host of AFS in 30. Conrad Thompson calls him his protege. I think tonight it would be more appropriate to call him Conrad Light. Hello, Paul Bromwell.
I like what you did there. Hey, Christy, how are you?
I am fantastic. Thank you. I really enjoyed the show, and I know there is a ton to talk about. Our top guys and everyone is already chatting in the chat. How are you feeling after tonight's show?
Wow. Lots of wrestling. It went on. It's almost 12:15 here on the East Coast, and a lot of action, though. We saw a couple of big returns. You mentioned it right at the top, and a lot of title. We had 4 title changes on this card. So there's a lot to unpack here, as our buddy Conrad says, with tonight's SummerSlam. Some ups, some downs, some surprises, a lot of flavor with this show.
Yes, and we, of course, did plan to have the host of My World and WWE Hall of Famer Jeff Jarrett here with us tonight. He's having a little bit of travel trouble, but I'm sure, Paul, right, that he will be covering all of his thoughts on SummerSlam, probably on My World.
I would imagine so. He was very disappointed, Christy, that he couldn't be here. I know that for a fact. But as they say, the show must go on, and we're going to do our best to continue to carry the mantle and make sure we have some fun dialogue with you. We see the chats are already starting to flood in. Wrestling is back after this weekend, and I would hope that you guys feel that as well. If it wasn't Friday night, hopefully tonight cemented it. This is an exciting time to be a wrestling fan, Christy.
It is, and that's why we are live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and we may not have Jeff tonight, but we do have our top guys joining us, our special AdFreeShows top guys who are going to be sharing all of their thoughts. And guys, make sure that you do that, because very exciting. We have some fun stuff to give away to everybody who's engaging with us tonight, leaving their comments on the show. We are going to be giving away some 8x10 autographed Jeff Jarrett photos and also some swag from My World, right? Like some koozies and other cool stuff.
That's
probably
right.
Stuff Paul has in his closet that he is not excited about parting with, but he'll give it to you guys if you have a great comment tonight.
That's right. Just for tonight only, I'll unlock the cabinet back here and share some of my favorite Jeff Jarrett collectibles. But no, we're going to have a good time and give away some things. We're really excited. And where's the tie, Paul? Really? Well, that guy, and I know who you are, he's not getting any Jeff Jarrett swag with some of his comments. So keep it coming. Loving all the feedback. This is going to be fun, Christy. I can already tell.
It is. We got James and Mark and the Doc and Mike and Augie and Hornets beer guy. Oh, all my faves. Eddie, all of our top guys
That's
are rolling
right.
in tonight. And I bet what they want to kick off this show by talking about is a little belt that we just took in for the Universal Championship featuring Roman Reigns and John Cena. Okay, so let's talk about leading up to this match. There was some speculation, of course, much anticipated. John Cena had the opportunity here to become a record-breaking 17-time champion. And also, Paul, I'm curious to hear what you have to say about this. You know, there was some fan speculation that maybe with Ric Flair being released just in the last week or two from WWE, that there would be some motivation for John Cena to break his record, you know, creatively and that sort of thing. Did you expect John to break Ric's record tonight?
I was on the fence. I tell you what, they did a really good job, and especially the last few weeks of promos between Cena and Roman Reigns of really kind of making us that thought, well, there's no way Cena's going to win the title here. He's going back to Hollywood. He's doing movies. But I feel like they did such a nice job with the promos leading up to this match that we were starting to somewhat believe it could happen. And to your point with Ric Flair, you know, saying, see you later, you might think maybe there's a little less loyalty on the WWE side to maybe give Cena that rub. That did not happen. And so, again, I think what you saw here tonight was the strengthening of Roman Reigns, continuing to show his dominance and how they are really building this company around him for now and the future. And whether it was John Cena who had to be that sacrificial lamb tonight to make sure to get that job done, he was all in. He's always been a company man. And so, but yes, I was on the fence whether or not it could happen. And I think that's a credit to what they did there those last few weeks on SmackDown, kind of building us and taking us to that match.
Well, yeah, and the stakes seemed especially high for this, especially after last night on SmackDown when Roman Reigns was all, hey, guys, if I don't leave with a Universal Championship, I'm going to leave WWE. I know that some people always sort of say, oh, no, that ruins it for me because then we know Roman Reigns is going to win. But there were so many factors here tonight, even, you know, the Usos and Paul Heyman. I was expecting some shenanigans.
Yeah, I thought so too. For me, the Paul Heyman just felt even more, this is really getting interesting now when the big ending happened with Brock coming out. And, now Heyman's hiding behind Roman Reigns. So there's going to be a lot as far as this story build as it goes forward. But you're right. There was no involvement from the Usos. I like that. I'm glad we didn't need that. We wanted to see it one-on-one. And again, I think it's that rub to say Roman can pin. He can take the AAs. He took the AA in the middle of the match. He took another one off the second rope and still popped up. And again, it's just building him as just a strong performer.
Oh, let's take a look at what our top guys are saying about this. Here's a good one from Hornets Beard Guy. Not going to lie, Cena's new SummerSlam gear popped me.
Yeah. The old nod to the Super Mario Brothers and the 16 up in the back of that shirt. And that's going to be a hot seller. So, yeah, very cool.
And Ryan points out, he says, it's interesting they never mentioned Ric Flair's name when talking about the record.
Yeah, I saw that, Ryan. Yeah, no, that's a really good point. You know, when people tend to slip away, their names leave the lips of those announcers pretty quickly. And for sure, they did not mention Ric Flair anymore tonight. So there you go.
Augie really appreciated John Cena's move off the top rope. I was watching this match pretty quickly, but I was also taking notes. Did you catch that one, Paul?
Yeah, no, he did a move. It was the AA, I believe it was from the second rope, and dropped Roman Reigns on the mat, went for the cover. Roman kicked out again, showing his, the strong character they're building there with him. But yeah, it was impressive, and good stuff all around. I'm telling you, it's all about Roman Reigns right now.
Well, is it though? How about we address and not the elephant in the room, the beast in the stadium? All right. Eric said, I'm pretty excited to see what's up between Roman and Brock, mainly to hear Heyman on the mic and see all of his facial expressions. I mean, this current feud got us that whole Paul Heyman moment, a classic. Who knows what we're going to get out of it now if the two guys that he's the mouthpiece for are going head to head, right?
Christy, can we have you do that at least one more time tonight before we log off? Okay. But no, you're right. That was
all the time.
Hey, Brock Lesnar. And I wonder how quickly that came together. There's a lot going on in wrestling, and this is a SummerSlam post show, but with surprises. And it's interesting, how quickly did that all come together for Brock to be there and make that appearance? It was certainly a huge pop to go off SummerSlam with Lesnar. You already had Becky, which we'll get to, I know, at some point. But to end it with Lesnar was strong. In a pay-per-view, and I know we'll get into some of the matches here, that some matches were good. Some matches were, why did that happen? Why the squash? We'll get into that. But saving it at the end of the day was Lesnar creating more drama and buzz, and to say, hey, I got to keep watching because we know there's going to be some fun here with Heyman and Reigns and Lesnar.
Yeah. One of the things that stood out about Brock to me, and apparently to Ryan as well, he said, how about Brock's new hair? I was in the room with someone who described it as a man bun, but that was just really more of a sad ponytail. Sorry, Brock.
Listen, I was going to ask you, I mean, you've done shows before, fashion and and all this. What did you think of the Brock look, this hairdo? Was it a good change for him?
It is a good change for him because I can appreciate anytime someone is reinventing themselves. We got Cher, the queen of reinvention right here.
There you go.
So I can appreciate that, especially because we were surprised to see him. So he's got to come out and give us a little more than usual, right? Like, he can't just come out looking like the Brock that we're used to seeing, because he's trying to shock us. And that he definitely did with the look. His whole demeanor was a little different. He feels still a badass, but a little relaxed. Time off does people some good sometimes.
I'm with you. I like the look. I know it's different and people are going to make fun of it, but I do like something a little different. I like that different flair to his character. Also, I'm wondering how his character evolves now without Paul Heyman, without that mouthpiece. Does he just become dropping short lines? What is the promos going to look like? So it's going to be interesting to see how his character evolves without Heyman for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I haven't loved the way they're using Zelina Vega lately. She is an awesome mouthpiece. Maybe her and Brock Lesnar. You never know.
Hey, I'm all for Zelina Vega being on my TV as much as possible. So if that's the case, I'm not going to complain.
Well, Mark Nelson is wondering if Brock is going to be a baby face or a bad guy that fans still like. That remains to be seen, of course. I think maybe we saw the fans take a turn tonight during another match as well. One that keeps coming up, even though we weren't even on it, was, of course, the SmackDown Women's Championship match, which was supposed to take place between Bianca Belair and Sasha Banks. So much hullabaloo leading into this. We knew last weekend that neither Sasha or Bianca worked the live shows. We heard that Sasha wasn't at SmackDown last night. And then we know what happened tonight when we were watching. I could rehash it, but it makes me kind of sad. So
yeah,
you all know what happened. I'm just waiting for all the comments to roll in here. Paul, what was your first reaction to Becky returning?
I think like many of the guys here, we're all on Twitter, we're all on social media, kind of following on what's going on. And we start to see Sasha's not going to be here tonight. That was the breaking news as we're getting into the card. So immediately, I'm sure everyone is thinking, what does that mean? Does that mean we're going to get Becky? Because where's she been? When's she going to show up? What are they going to do? Because they did not stop promoting Sasha and Bianca. So you knew something was going to have to happen. You didn't know what. And then when you heard the boos rain out and the disappointment, and the announcers also sold that disappointment, which was a cue. They're selling the disappointment here in Las Vegas. We have a disappointed crowd. They would never do that if they had to stick with Carmella and Bianca, but they were. So the music hit. The place exploded. So good to have Becky Lynch back. She's so good. And the man, and she comes down and you're excited. You know it's going to be some type of match. She's in her ring gear. So as wrestling fans, we're expecting something to happen here. But I don't think what we were But I don't think what we were expecting was a 27-second squash. Now, I see there's a rare few on Twitter trying to tell us this is long-term storytelling and, but she wasn't prepared and Bianca didn't have time. And okay.
I'm not a very patient person, Paul. That doesn't really work for me.
But good night. Bianca won the title at WrestleMania in what was an SB winning match. They built her up for the last several months, and to lose it in 27 seconds, not to a series of moves, but 27 seconds worth of moves for that 3 count. I don't know. I think it could have been handled better. It's my opinion.
I agree. And I'm wondering if it was a hasty decision. I look at everything that's going on screen, and I noticed that Carmella was in the same gear that she was wearing last night. That's very un-Carmella-like. It makes me think that she had very little indication that she didn't know that she was going to be going out there and doing I guess Bianca got jobbed harder than she did, but she did the initial job out there tonight. And I am very excited to see Becky Lynch back as well. I actually wasn't expecting it tonight because I thought her return is really huge. It would be something that they would build up to, or something we would be expecting maybe for SmackDown or Raw this week. But I was shocked to see her come back. And like a lot of people here just don't quite understand. I'll out myself. I'm one of the impatient people. I don't quite understand where we're going with the long-term storytelling here. Let's see what our people have to say.
I see a lot of familiar names in this chat, which is fun.
There they are. Adam says Bianca was pushed quick, but she didn't deserve to be jobbed out. Agreed. Oh, but Mike has a different take. He said Bianca will be fine. Hopefully we get that longer story. You know, Bianca is such gold to WWE for so many reasons. Not only is she actually the strongest woman in the entire WWE, that's in real life, that's believable, but she also has huge marketability. You know, her husband also a WWE superstar, so she is so valuable to WWE, and they can clearly see that, they acknowledge that. So I know they wouldn't do her too dirty, but maybe if some of our top guys could project where this is going.
Hoop is right, though, too. We are, like you said, we're impatient. They probably needed to fill a hole and plug something in with Sasha. We don't know what's going on with Sasha. Again, more speculation about that, but who knows how long and why did they wait so long to finally make this change? Maybe because it was close. It was a close call. You said Carmella. She had the same ring gear that she had on SmackDown last night, which makes you think, okay, yeah, she had nothing really planned out. But to Hoop's point, they probably needed to move ahead with something, get it going, move the storyline, build Becky up, return her as the man. But Bianca's still young, still extremely talented. Creative is on it. They will build this out. This is wrestling. They always figure it out, and I'm sure it'll be entertaining as we go down the strip.
Yeah. Paul, did Mike just pop you there with this comment? Why is Paul the sexier of the two? I saw a little smile on your face there when that one popped up.
I didn't see it until you brought it up, but wow, he's in the running for a signed 8x10 after that one.
Yes, they're trying hard to get those from you. Oh, this is interesting. Pond Water Dave Barks at Cloud said, I'm good if Sasha never returns.
Pond Water.
Definitely in the minority on that one.
Pond Water, no 8x10 for you, pal. We definitely know who Pond Water is over at AdFreeShows. But, buddy, you're happy if she never returns? Now, I do like some Sasha Banks. So bite your tongue.
Probably wants her to be a big superstar in the world of Hollywood, right?
He is a massive Charlotte mark, okay? He's posting pictures of him and Charlotte tonight. I mean, Pond Water's he's a shorter guy, and it looked like Charlotte could have picked him up and put her on her head, put Pond Water on her head. But anyway, Pond Water, okay, we understand. You don't like Sasha, you're Charlotte. We'll get to her match. Don't worry, stick around.
Oh yeah, that's next.
Okay.
You know what? You speak it into existence. Let's do it, because the women of SmackDown, you know, big changes, got fans all riled up. But fans also talking extensively about the Raw Women's Championship match, Nikki ASH in a triple threat, the champion versus Rhea Ripley and Charlotte Flair, who we know is not quick to lose in a pay-per-view. And she did not tonight. Charlotte Flair coming out the new Raw Women's Champion. This is one that I think a lot of people predicted correctly, right? Paul, did you put any money on this one?
Didn't put any money on it, but the Queen seems to always, like you said, the big matches, she seems to be able to figure it out, get it done. She is now the 12-time champion, and you know, again, Nikki ASH, almost a superhero. She was the champ coming in. This is a big time, again, match here at SummerSlam. Rhea Ripley. Charlotte is the queen. She's the face of the division, if you will, especially for Raw. Rhea's young. Nikki's going to have her time. But tonight, the decision was, let's put the belt back on Charlotte, and we'll see where this leads to for her. But this was a really good match. I thought a lot of back and forth. Charlotte would obviously pull out the win with the figure 8 on Nikki ASH and get the job done. But it'll be exciting to see where they head now with the storylines with Charlotte walking out with the championship.
Yeah, and this match was fantastic for one reason I always notice is believability. You know, I'm always thinking if 3 women are really trying to kick each other's butts and one of them walking out with that championship, they're going to really be doing that. Sometimes in a triple threat match, it comes down to 2 performers and one person lays on the outside a little too long, and that just isn't believable for me. These 3 women fought each other tooth and nail throughout the entire match. And even though we knew that Charlotte was favored to win going in, there was still plenty of kind of anticipation here, you know, plenty of suspense. What did you guys think?
Yeah, let's see. Here's some of the comments. What do you like over there, Christy? What do you want to pop in? We're getting a lot of good ones here.
Oh, Sean Daniels thinks that we're on the verge of a wrestling boom. I mean, these ladies are making it happen for sure. Ooh, Nick thinks that Charlotte is the better champion. She does get all that mainstream attention. She is Charlotte Flair.
Yeah, she is. Palm Water Dave said up here, she's the best of the wrestlers named Flair. Like I told you, he's a massive fan. But hey, she gets it done in the ring. She's the queen. She carries herself with that. She does make all the media appearances. She eats, sleeps, and breathes the business. She has the look and has all the talent. Not saying any of the other ladies don't, but she's got the pedigree and she has the track record already. Again, like I said, 12-time champion. And they have a lot of confidence in her to carry and be the face of the division. And so there's going to be these matches. There's going to be these pay-per-views even in the next 5-7 years where Charlotte's going to be in these matches and she's going to continue to lose some and she's going to win a lot. So that's just going to be the name of the game with her. She's going to continue to have a great career, whether you love her, whether you hate her. She's a major player. She's a superstar in the women's division. And so a win like tonight here at SummerSlam in 2021, I'm not surprised whatsoever.
Well, yeah, and just thinking about moving forward, we know that WWE has this Queen of the Ring tournament planned. And Charlotte said just recently in an interview, she said that she thinks she should not be in that tournament, but that the winner of the tournament should face her. Her having that championship title certainly would lend to that. And I know I'm looking forward to that Queen of the Ring tournament. Doug is wondering how long until Charlotte drops the title again. I think this is going to be a long reign, don't you, Paul?
I do too. I think they're going to have, because that title feels like it's flipped back and forth a little bit here lately. I think they're going to give her some time with this one. I would agree.
Yeah. And Eddie said Rhea deserves better. You know, Rhea is a fantastic superstar. I was there when she first came in and she has grown so much. Her first championship reign was, of course, just that, her first time around with the gold. And I think that she will get another opportunity after tonight and she will blow us away on the next time around. So we love Rhea Ripley.
Yes, we do. She, again, very talented, and there's going to be some more long-range planning, booking, battles with her and Charlotte and her and others on the roster. She's not going anywhere either.
She absolutely is not. However, is Goldberg going to be sticking around after what we saw tonight? He was looking to make his son proud. However, Bobby Lashley promised to end him. This one ended questionably with the ref just calling it, saying Goldberg was too injured. Then, of course, Bobby Lashley continues to beat Goldberg down. And then some rando guy, some fan from the crowd, we don't know. Some guy jumps into the ring. Bobby Lashley's confused. He's trying to kick ass. He can't really see what's going on. And he ends up going kind of ham on Goldberg's son.
Yeah. Gage gets the beat down. Yeah, just some random fan, according to MVP, of course. But man, can we? Is it just me, guys? Let me know your thoughts in the chat. Can Goldberg be done now? Are we done with Goldberg? What do we think?
We actually aren't done with Goldberg. He says that he has 2 matches left on his current contract.
2 more matches. Okay, well then there's definitely probably going to be. They probably, I guess, set up a return match because they messed with his son. So hopefully that'll be the next one down, and then 1 more. So can we hang in there for 2 more? Been done, way done. There we go. Yes, agree in the chat.
Yes, and actually the crowd really seemed to be behind Bobby Lashley.
Oh, yeah. He became a fan favorite. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And I wasn't sure about them maybe killing that right away with him doing something as gnarly as going after Goldberg's son. So I guess we'll have to tune in this week and see where they're going with all of that.
Yeah, I mean, they made Bobby Lashley, again, when we talked about building Roman Reigns, they made him look strong. He started tearing apart Goldberg's leg up against the post several times, and where he couldn't continue. We're talking about the beatdown post match, but in the match itself, yes, MVP hits him in the back of the leg, and Goldberg had a little bit of a slow reaction to it. But, he took him out. He took his leg out and against the ring and really just dominated Goldberg until he said, "Ref, I can't continue anymore." So I do like the fact that they made Lashley, should I say, look strong in that match as well.
They absolutely did. And Doug actually thinks that Brock should have come out during this match instead of at the end of the show.
Interesting.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And Mike wants to end all of the Goldbergs except for
Adam Goldberg. He's still a fan of Adam Goldberg. Just end the rest of the whole Goldberg family.
Another great question, though, from Adam, who wants to know who's next for Lashley. I think that's very interesting. Of course, we know that we're not going to get Goldberg every week, so that we expect to be wrapped up pretty quickly. And is there someone in particular that you would like to see Bobby go up against next, Paul?
I don't know. You know, they have AJ and Orton in these tag team matches right now, who I think are two of their top single stars. They're just kind of using them in different ways right now. McIntyre, personally, kind of over that a little bit. Some guys in the chat, Adam saying he'd like to see Riddle. So who knows? Maybe a little bit of that. I don't know. I don't know what's next for Lashley, though. I think that's one of the questions coming out of SummerSlam that we're going to have to figure out here. Who's going to be next up from a Raw talent perspective to face off against him? But we'll see what's happening. We'll see what's happening here. Almost, Mark Nelson says.
Well, I thought that we should chat about that one next, since you mentioned the RK Bros, the Raw Tag Team Championship up for grabs tonight. AJ Styles and Omos versus Randy Orton and Riddle. We know that they came away the new Raw Tag Team Champions, but I'm kind of concerned. You know, Randy was a reluctant partner for Matt anyway. He admitted that Riddle had earned his trust, right, and his respect, but I just don't see these two getting along long enough for a long tag team championship reign. What do you top guys think? Paul, what do you think?
Yeah, no, there's already, you know, blips in the relationship and little controversies here and there. Everything that we've come to expect watching wrestling over the years as longtime fans. So we'll see where they take this. Yes, right now they're the tag champs. You know, Riddle had an interview there that said, "Hey, look forward to Monday night. I'm going to have a surprise for you." So he left that cliffhanger for us. So we'll see what happens there on Raw. But again, I think these programs with AJ, Omos, Riddle, and Orton, I think maybe for Omos and Riddle, it's kind of getting that rub from these two established superstars working in these tag teams. I think some of that is there, but they're not in this for the long haul. I think eventually we'll see Omos on his own. We'll see Riddle back to being on his own, because you can't keep Orton and AJ Styles in tag teams for very long either. I feel like they're needed as top talent. I want to see them towards the end of the show. You can keep your Goldbergs. Give me AJ Styles. Give me Randy Orton. Figure out some fun storylines there. That's what I want to see. I know they've been doing it for a while, but they're going to be the ones soon that are those veterans you need to call back in when you haven't developed any superstars again. So let's use them now while they're there and fresh and still moving around the ring well, and get them involved in the scene where we want them to be.
That's so true. It's almost odd that we haven't seen AJ Styles in some big singles match in a pay-per-view in this long. I'm wondering if anyone would like to see, if you guys remember AJ Styles and Ric Flair's story from Impact from back in the day, where Rick was AJ's like mentor and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
I could kind of see AJ and Omos doing something like that. Because those two somehow turning on each other and that building into a feud doesn't make a lot of sense. But I think that if they could do sort of this mentorship thing and maybe take it to the next level of AJ putting Omos over before he really lets him fly into his own singles career, right?
If anybody can do it, AJ can. He's proven over his career he can work with all sizes and heights, and he can do it. I mean, he wrestled The Undertaker at WrestleMania in that one of the classic WrestleMania matches. He can work with anybody. So AJ's incredible, and he's an incredible talent. He's a generational talent type wrestler. I'd love to see him being back more in the spotlight, but you're right. If anybody can do it for Omos, I think AJ can.
Yeah. Augie said he agrees with you, Paul. I would have loved to see AJ versus Cesaro.
Yeah, where's Cesaro at? That's a question. Where has my man Cesaro been lately? So he was missing from this card.
He was missing from this card, and you know, they seem to lean on him when they need him.
Yeah, back and forth with him. They try to get something going during the pandemic when they were doing all the virtual reality stuff, the Thunderdome. Cesaro was getting his push, but here comes the crowds again, and where's Cesaro at? So I don't know. They can't figure him out, I don't think.
Well, Cesaro and Sheamus seem to be the ones that they know they can lean on in this time of like the Thunderdome era. I think really Sheamus has thrived in this era too. So let's go ahead and talk about our brand new United States champion, Damian Priest, who was victorious over Sheamus tonight. Damian is just a one-time NXT North American champ. So this is his first championship title on the main roster. And like I said, Sheamus has really been a fan favorite as the champion. So this was a good one too, right? I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I just jotting some notes down. It was a very hard-hitting match between these two. And when he ripped the mask off Sheamus' face, you knew it was getting even more and more intense. But yeah, he delivers the reckoning and gets the clean pin here to become the new United States Championship, one of the 4 title changes that we saw here tonight. So I was surprised that that he went over here. I got to admit, I thought Sheamus may retain, but Corey Graves said it right. As this match wrapped up, he said they'll both be feeling this one for the next few days. This was a lot of hard-hitting action between these two big guys and an entertaining match. It went almost 14 minutes. So again, they delivered a nice matchup and for two strong, heavy-hitting guys. But I was surprised that Priest won the championship. I really was.
I was as well. And you're right that even though he's the new champ, he's going to be hurting tomorrow. They replayed that moment towards the beginning of the match when he went over the top rope and really took a bad fall onto the outside. And that could not have felt too good. Oh, that's not the comment I meant to click on, but Nick thinks that Priest is going to be a boring U.S. champion. Let's give him let's give him a little chance. Augie thinks that Damian Priest has charisma. He needs rock type moves. I think
that's two very different opinions. So one said he's boring and one said he has charisma. We'll see how it plays out with his career. I think I need to see more charisma out of him personally. And maybe his character will develop and we'll get that. But it'll be interesting to see how he continues to develop too.
Yeah, we saw him in a backstage promo after the match. And my response to that was sort of like, maybe Damian Priest should go back to promo class down there at the PC Wednesday nights. And, just go back to class.
Christy coming in hot with that assessment there. I like it.
And Mark thought that Priest is not a good worker and that Sheamus carried him the entire match. I certainly didn't see anyone else saying that, but it's opinions. That's what we're doing here.
And listen, Mike Hoop and Garner again. Hoop, as I know him right there, said he was awesome in Ring of Honor. Could he get there again? And I think too that some of these guys maybe haven't been exposed to him in Ring of Honor to your point, Hoop. So haven't been able to see that version of him. So maybe we do. Maybe we get to pull that out of him a little bit at some point in WWE, and he can get back there with his character and turn it around.
Yeah, and I'm really wondering who's going to step up to become the next contender for the U.S. Championship. That's always one that is exciting to me, the U.S. Championship. Miro Rusev had his long reign and kind of really made that championship important again. And it is one that I feel like they're not afraid to do some new and exciting things with it and put on people who are new and fresh.
I like Pondwater.
I'm not trying to bury anybody.
No, but it's okay. If you're going to, make sure it's Mark Nelson. We're all good on that. But Pondwater here, he makes a good point when he says, I can see Priest versus Lee. So there you go. I would agree. Keith Lee. He's a name we haven't really talked about tonight, but he's another guy when you're thinking up and comer. You mentioned who could be in line for Lashley, who could be in line for the U.S. Championship. He's a guy that's now back after his issues that he had there with COVID, which we saw on social media and heard his story. But you keep zooming in on me, and Mark Nelson's going to have a stroke, by the way. He doesn't want to see me. He wants to see you. But the whole point is that I think Keith Lee could be, make that note. Keith Lee could be a player here somewhere in the future. Has to be. I know they're also playing around with Karrion Kross. He's got a big match tomorrow night on NXT. Hopefully they figure out what they're doing with him and don't screw him up too much on the main roster. But he's another one that I'm telling you, if they get behind him the right way, the NXT way that they did, he could be another big player for Raw too. So some exciting young talent that could be developed here soon on the Raw brand.
Yes, and we saw some fairly new, fresh faces as far as the women's division goes tonight as well. Not talking about Eva Marie because she's there, she's back. But let's talk about Alexa Bliss versus Eva Marie. I am, of course, mentioning Miss Dewdrop, who had such a moment this evening. Now, we kind of knew going into this that this would be all for Dewdrop and that we probably wouldn't see Eva do a whole lot. I was happy to see her lean into everyone thinking that she's a terrible wrestler and can't actually work, and just kind of went with, yeah, okay. Sure, guys, I can't work.
Yeah.
I love Eva. I think that everyone who hates her and thinks that she is useless, how did they not see that she made them think and feel exactly the way she was supposed to, and that is a talent that she has? Adam said, yes, join the evolution.
Oh, that's because Adam Hunter has a crush on her, like probably every other guy in this chat room does. But listen, okay, first of all, the character that took the biggest beating in this whole match was Lily. Okay, that puppet, that dog got the crap beat out of it, slapped around. What did it ever do to anybody, really? But to your point, listen, Dewdrop is the winner of all this, okay? Of this match tonight, it wasn't Eva Marie, it wasn't Alexa Bliss, it was Dewdrop, because she is starting to separate herself. She did it on the mic at the very end before she strutted that ass, as Conrad would say, off in Eva's robe, and got on the mic, called her the loser of the match. And I think this is going to be fun now. Dewdrop's got skills. I can't believe I'm calling her Dewdrop. She's got skills, and I think she was the big winner in this match tonight. And Eva Marie, yes, she has a role to play, and she does it well. I see you there, Christy, are a big fan of hers, and that's good for you. In the ring, she's still, I don't know, do you think it's ever going to connect for her wrestling? Do you think it's ever really going to fully connect? She's going to be smooth.
I don't think it's ever going to have to.
Okay.
She's always going to be able to play the role that she played tonight and has been playing at WWE when she was there before. Also, she is a pretty big deal in the world of TV and movies at this point. She signed with The Rock's management company. She's actually been in some movies and TV shows alongside some pretty A-list actors. And so WWE is going to kind of always stay latched onto her. She is their biggest potential for a female The Rock right now, as far as that Hollywood transition thing goes. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I get you. We just got to figure out a way for it to fully transition to the WWE audience.
Oh, that was my point. She hasn't had time. You guys, okay, I'm going to keep defending Eva.
Go for it. Come on, Christy.
The way that she got signed way back in the day was because they wanted her for Total Divas, and then they put her on a plane and they flew her out to a SummerSlam that year. She never had a chance to train. She was put in the ring right away and in storylines right away. She has said that she would show up. They would show her the move for that night, and that would be it. That's all she had time for. This was before, the PC and all of that. So she has never had proper training, and she don't need it.
Okay.
She isn't ever going to have the time to get it. And
that's true.
You all are just playing into her little pink fingernailed hands is what you all are doing.
You know what? You made a good point, and so did Hoop here. He said Eva's there for the people to hate her, but not to stop watching her. You can't say it better myself. As long as she gets heat, that's what this business is all about. That's what wrestling is all about, right? It's to be a heat magnet, and you're going to want her to see her ass kicked that much more. So she's doing that job pretty darn well. And then there's also going to be the fans. One of the comments here, and I forgot who said it, I believe it was Palmwater again, said he wants to see her go back to be all red everything. Really enjoyed her as the all red. We may get that at some point. But people have strong opinions about her, one way or the other. And if you want to, and that's good. You want to be talked about. Like there's others that have said, if I'm on the cover of the magazine and you're talking about me, that's all that matters. And people are going to talk about her and have strong opinions. And you kind of want that in wrestling. So there you go.
Well, yeah. And Eddie doesn't think that she should ever be compared to The Rock, but just sit back and watch what she does with a movie career, guys. I got faith.
You got some scoop or something, Christy? What does she do? What's happening here? What do you know? You're really high on her, though. That's good.
Yeah, I am. And also, she is one of, all the superstars are great, but someone who has given me her time and energy and interviews many times over the years. And I've had some great red carpet moments with her. So as long as she can stay
there, you go.
So and keep entertaining us all, I'm in.
Efren says good heat, not bad heat. And that's a very valid point. I mean, there is a difference between what kind of heat someone wants too. So Good point there from Efren. By the way, let's do a little promotion here. Efren, tomorrow night, ad-free shows. If you're not on adfreeshows.com, we have so much great content over there. And without a doubt, tomorrow night, one of the most exciting brand new events that debuted last month is back for its second showing. It's WrestleGamia. This is WrestleGamia 2 with host Efren, who just made an appearance here in the chat. And he'll be leading it. There's giveaways. There's giveaways to boxofgimmicks.com where you can find all kinds of awesome T-shirts. But Efren does a fantastic job. That is tomorrow night. It's 7 o'clock Eastern time. You don't want to miss it. If you're not on adfreeshows.com, make sure you upgrade today. Be a part of it. It's for My Push and Top Guy members. I can't put that over enough. I'm telling you, it's unlike anything you've ever participated before. And you get to hang out with all these guys that are chatting here and become friends and family members. So very cool.
We have so much fun in those. I know we're welcoming the coach next week, I believe that is, for a little Q&A, and our top guys can participate in that as well and actually sit and ask them questions. So much fun stuff to do there. And of course, you know, those are the guys whose comments were taken tonight. Adam Hunter said, Efren, love you, brother.
He's big. He's over. He's big time. I'm telling you, Christy, once you meet him, you'll never forget him. And he's a huge Cher fan too. So that'll connect the two of you immediately.
I love it. I love it. Well, let's see who of our top guys are Drew McIntyre fans.
Okay.
Talk about this bout tonight against Jinder Mahal. This was a really quick one. Drew taking the win. And this happened right after the Becky and Bianca very quick match too. So that just stood out to me. I was like, whoa. And then this is over. And then this is over. It was like, we better not blink during this show.
You're exactly right. I was going to say the same thing. 27 seconds of the Bianca Becky, which we had some screaming and yelling and excitement for Becky. Then they do the Olympians introduction. You had Gable Stevenson and Tamira Stock. They do their intro, but then it's right into Jinder and Drew McIntyre. And this was kind of a lopsided match here. It was former 3-man band team members finally getting the payoff here. He wins with the Claymore, 4 minutes, 40 seconds. So between that match, the 27 seconds before, we're just over 5 minutes between two matches here on this card out of the 10 that we had here on the main card. And it's over. It's over. Drew dominates. Drew wins. And he took a sword, tried to chop off some heads, didn't work out, and we're done, and we're on to the next match.
Yeah, and we were on to the next. We'll see what happens with those guys moving forward. But two guys who got a little more time, a lot more time than they did, were Edge and Seth Rollins. I know a lot of people were calling this the most anticipated match of the evening, the one they were looking forward to the most. I did see some comments that were saying they thought that this was the best match of the night. Paul, you agree?
Yeah, and you know what? I'm jaded here because I am such a huge fan for Edge. Love him. He's one of my probably top 5 wrestlers of all time. Just really a big fan of his. So happy that he's back and able to do these matches. I'm telling you, what started it for me was that Brood entrance. When that music hit, the Ring of Fire, him coming up. Cold chills. It's very cool that I love it when they do these slight nods to the past where we, the long-term wrestling fans, just have a lot of appreciation for that. It shows that you didn't forget what got some of these guys to where they are today. And so really enjoyed the opener, and then right into the Metalingus. Fantastic opening. Edge comes out. Him and Seth go back and forth. Remember, Edge called him Edge Light, and I see the comparisons there, though, to those two. They both are similar in some ways, not every way, but I could see some of that. But again, I was surprised that he won via submission, defeating Seth Rollins. Seth tops out here. They told a nice story working on the neck. And again, the 11-time world champion knocked off the Architect. Man, I put the note here. It's going to be hard to top this. My favorite match of the night so far. 22 minutes, 15 seconds. They gave him plenty of time to work this match as well.
Yes, so much love for this entrance from Andrew, Mark, the Doc 87, everybody in our chat loved this one. We're rooting the ending for anyone who hasn't seen it, but that's kind of what we're doing around here.
Yeah, exactly. This is a post show, so I apologize. But if you definitely are going to want to rewind and watch that a few times. Looks like everybody here is well, I'm getting it from Adam from Bama, also known as Adam Hunter here. But man, so good, so good. Edge utilizing here. Let's throw out Mark Cyrus' comment here. Edge utilizing the long form storytelling by going back to the Brood days is amazing. Mark, I agree with you completely. I loved it. That was a character where he was more had that kind of that psychotic, evil flavor, and him tapping into it for this match just added another layer to the story. So definitely enjoyed it.
Also an interesting and surprising choice to lean into that, because we know that Christian, the other members of the Brood, Christian is oversigned at AEW. So there's no way that he was going to be surprise involved or come out for the entrance. And I saw a lot of people wondering also why Gangrel is never involved or mentioned. And I know that from interviewing him several years ago, he said that there's a legal issue with his name. It was in a book or a movie or something, and WWE doesn't actually own it and never cared to fight to try to own it. So it's just kind of an issue now that sounds like will never be resolved. And I don't think you'll ever see him on WWE programming, at least not using that name. He could go by the Vampire Warrior, of course. We know who that is. But that's the scoop on Gangrel.
Real quick, Christy, because we've had a few join that weren't here at the top of the show. Again, if you're joining to hoping to see Jeff Jarrett, he is not going to make it tonight. Unfortunately, or fortunately, you're stuck with Paul and Christy. But he had some travel issues that came up and was very much disappointed. It was a last-minute thing. But he wanted us to pass along to all of you that he was very sad he wasn't going to make it. And but definitely, again, it was one of those things that he had no control over. He was doing some traveling, and we all know in today's world with everything going on with travel and this and that, these things tend to happen. So just wanted to catch everyone up there on that.
Yeah, and don't forget that we're giving away some Jeff Jarrett autographs tonight and some My World swag. Paul, you know what? Why don't you just give the people one? Just pick somebody there.
All right.
A good comment, something that excites you, and just
something that excites me.
Yeah.
Wow. Paulie and Christy are more over than Jeff Jarrett anyway. Adam Hunter, you have won an autograph picture of Jeff Jarrett, 8x10. I know who you are. You win. And there's a particular commenter in here. I'm not going to call him out by name, but man, he is just burying himself over and over and over. Oh, it made it to the screen. There you go. So, but Adam, congratulations to you, man. Well deserved. You've had some fun feedback for us. You're welcome.
I might have a couple koozies I can give out.
Look. Oh, I love this one. Sorry to disappoint, and I think this is AJ Espinoza, maybe. But the Doc 87 says Sunoga's guitar shot to Paulie. Just kidding. Love you, Paulie. No, not tonight, but hey, who knows? One of these days, it most likely is going to happen somewhere.
As long as we get the video.
Listen, Palmwater, I whammy Double J, but I didn't whammy Christy, and that's all that matters. She's here live with us. Am I right or what? So there you go.
Maybe for our non-top guys, we should explain what whammied means.
Yeah, so there was this thing that for a long time, hosting Zoom on ad-free shows. We know our friend Lauren Yaffe would host Zooms, and a lot of the guys here would love to sign in and see Lauren front and center. And all of a sudden, Conrad said, Paul, when would you mind helping out with some Zooms? We're going to be doing more of them. And so I would start showing up to these Zooms, and they would turn on their cameras, and here's bald-headed, bearded Paulie B, and not Lauren Yaffe, okay? And so it got to a point where Pondwater said, no whammies, no Paul, no Paul, stop. Oh, it's Paulie B again, no Lauren. So I became Mr. Whammy, and that's where that comes from. So there you go.
Oh, well, I love that. And shout out to Lauren tonight, too. Another member of our AdFreeShows family. How about the real Double J? Oh, Mike Hooping Garner is hoping.
Yeah, Hoop. We call him Hoop.
Hoop. He's hoping for an autograph. Well, you just keep bringing us the good stuff, Hoop.
How about the real Double J Jeff Jewett autograph? There you go. I love it. Hey, he's had a lot of good comments too. One more really good one from Hoop, and he may win an autograph picture. That's all I'm saying there. We need some good stuff.
Yeah, where's it? Get creative, folks. One more. James Earl Cash says Edge versus Seth was a great match in all caps.
It was a fantastic match. And again, like I said, I said it's going to be hard to top this one. I know it was a fun match, the back and forth between Roman Reigns and Cena at the end, and you can't go wrong because Brock Lesnar comes out at the end. But to me, again, seeing Edge and Seth Rollins, to me, that was a dream match, Christy. This is one that I don't think we thought would ever happen unless Edge was healthy. So when you think about guys you want to pick in video games and have them face off against each other, well, that would have been one of the matchups for me a few years ago. Let's see Seth Rollins versus Edge. We got to see that here tonight, so definitely enjoyed it.
Yeah, and we'll talk a little bit about WWE. What is it? 2K22. We got a trailer tonight from that. Are you a gamer, Polly?
Not necessarily, no, not a gamer. I played my fair share of Nintendo games, if that ages me, so be it, when I was a kid. But it was more the sports games, and every once in a while I'd jump into the wrestling games, but nothing recently. I don't have time, Christy, to play video games. If I do, I'm either watching wrestling, preparing for a podcast, working a real job, or you know what? I get sucked into true crime shows. That's my real that's what I really like to do there on the side to kill time and unplug from everything. So not a gamer though.
Okay, well now we know how to get after your heart over there with the true crime shows. I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. I'm not a gamer either, but I like to play the little thing where you can just build somebody, and they put all their gear on them, and I can mix and match, maybe a Bella hat with like an old Lana one piece, and that's the fun part for me. Eric Green said, well, how about Edge versus Brock? Video game in real life. Well, that could actually happen.
Ooh, I'm here for it. Eric. I like it. I like that matchup. Kurt Angle had Edge on a little while ago, and I said, Edge, you're back, and Cena's back running around. What could we ever see an Edge and Cena rematch? You guys were so hot back in the day, too. Not that Cena's going to be around that long, but I wouldn't mind seeing Brock and Edge. I'm telling you, there's some really cool opportunities, similar to the other company. Now there's some dream matches over there, too. So I'm really excited about wrestling right now. There's so much cool stuff to see, and hopefully these creative minds can put together some fun stuff for us in a couple months.
Yeah. Mark Nelson suggested Edge versus Rey Mysterio.
Ooh, I like that one too.
Yeah, there's a little something we haven't touched on tonight. The SmackDown Tag Team Championships. The Usos reigning supreme over Rey and Dominik Mysterio. Of course, Dominik was quite confident beforehand. His dad was trying to tell him, hey, son, calm it down. We don't necessarily got this. And they certainly didn't. The crowd were on their feet during this, though. To be honest with you, I wasn't sure that there was even a lot of anticipation. It feels like the Usos are really there to be strong and back up Roman Reigns, and they need the championships to do that. But the crowd really was excited for this one.
You know what? And you said something that I wanted to say at the top of the show. I felt the crowd was into this entire card. It was a hot crowd. Sometimes you lose the crowd on these stadium shows, but this is the first big crowd past the post-pandemic, and I don't even know that we can say post, but since being in the Thunderdome, this is the first big crowd, and it felt so good. They were into it. You're right. This match in particular, they were really into it. I had someone text me and say, hey, do we think Rey turns on his son here? And I thought, well, do we have Dominik turning on Rey here? Neither one of those things happened, but we've seen these teams take on each other quite a bit the last several weeks in different ways, one-on-ones, tag team matches. So I'm curious to see where this goes. Obviously, Usos retain. This wasn't one of the championships that transitioned here, right? So Usos hold on to. So what's next? You have to think that this battle or this fight, this matchup is kind of run its course. So I'll be interested to see where they go from here with both Rey and Dominik and the Usos. But very entertaining match. The Usos have to be one of the top tag teams in wrestling right now. So athletic, do a great job. If the one brother could keep his nose clean, they'd be doing so much more, probably could do so much more. But that's not what we're here to talk about. I think Usos are a great tag team wrestling team, and a very good match all around.
Yeah, and clearly his troubles outside the ring not affecting at all the opportunities that he's being given there. I think we may have our winning comment from Hoops here. He said wrestling right now is so great, especially with AFS content like this. Does that get him a signed photo, Paul?
Christy, that's up to you. You're making the call. I'm giving you the power.
I'm giving it to him.
Hoop, you're the winner. Christy chose you, not Paulie B. This is Christy. So congratulations. Hoop and Adam are two big winners for the 8x10s tonight.
Well, and I love how you touched on, where are they going next with Rhea and Dominik and all of that. I love the idea that they are, real life father and son, and we know that. And I think there's so much that they could do with having them feud and then bringing them back together because their family, their family has really put it all on the line for WWE creative in the last couple of years. And I think that they could push that even a little further. If anyone will, it'll be them. And that just seems like the next place to go for me, for sure.
Yeah, I think so too. It'll be interesting to see. Is your chat, does it still look normal and clear? Something went funky a little bit in my chat.
Oh, don't worry. I'm blocking and putting people in timeouts.
Oh,
that's
very
the really
good.
Cool thing about StreamYard is that I can just put your patootie in a timeout.
I love
that power.
it.
Paulie's giving away autographs. I have the power to put you in a timeout.
I like that you're in control, Christy. I like that you're in control. I'm loving it. This is great. And this is fantastic. We're trying to, James Earl Cash. We're trying to. He says, can someone please cut the spam? We're trying to work on that. But this is really good. Again, another exciting match, though, here for sure. What happened to Ray's daughter? Mark Nelson, man, he's really worried about all the key stuff here in wrestling. We don't know, but I'm certainly, you can use your Google machine to find out, pal.
Right. And again, she's someone who can pop up that the whole WWE universe knows and is clearly wondering where she's at. She could pop up in a Ray Dominik feud as well. So, all right, fine. I guess we're just giving it to him.
There you go.
There we go. Well, let's take a look at some news coming out of this show. It was announced that Logan Paul would be appearing Monday night. I'm sorry, I'm used to these being Sunday. Monday night on Raw on Moist TV with John Morrison. So the one and only Logan Paul, huge YouTuber, huge YouTube star. We last saw him at WrestleMania where he was in Sami Zayn's corner. And I'm really curious what they're going to do with Logan Paul. Is that a name, Paul, that you're familiar with? Logan
Paul, yes, I do. And, he's already been involved a little bit at WrestleMania. I know he's, a boxer and trying to make all his money on the side there with doing some of these matches. I don't know. Listen, I take her to leave it. That's the E part of WWE. And, I can live without it, but we'll see what happens. I know it attracts eyes outside the business, and that's a vital part of what WWE is trying to do with that side. So we'll see what happens. But that's nothing that's going to get me super excited to watch the next pay-per-view, if I'm going to be honest.
And just a little tidbit of AEW news as well that is appropriate here because we're talking about Bray Wyatt. So allegedly, this came out just today. Wrestling Observer is reporting that Bray Wyatt is headed to AEW. Another loss, I guess, for WWE, and that solidifies that we will not be seeing him on WWE programming. The release, there was some speculation because they called him Bray Wyatt in his release that maybe he would be coming back to WWE as another character, or that he would be re-signed again. But it is looking like we have seen the last of Bray Wyatt on WWE for now.
Yeah, listen, hey, it was WWE's ultimate choice to release Bray Wyatt. So when you have a guy that's in his prime, that is as talented and creative as he is, listen, he pulled off the Fiend character, any character he was given once he made the main roster. He embraced, did amazing promo work, and he's talented. So if AEW's interested, I'm here for it. I can't wait to see what he can do if Tony Khan opens up the checkbook once again, because Bray Wyatt is talented. He's in his prime. And if it's not going to work out with the WWE, why can't it work somewhere else? We, the fans, deserve it, and Bray deserves it. He's worked hard at his craft. He's really done a nice job in terms of developing his creative. I mean, I remember back in the day, Husky Harris, man, how he's come a light years away from when he first started and really sinking his teeth into Bray Wyatt character in The Fiend. So, when I've talked to JR before, and he said, Paul, it's just like, to me, to him, it's like sports. If you're a free agent, why not go sign with the Dallas Cowboys or the Packers or the Pittsburgh Steelers or the Patriots or whoever your team is? If it's your team, you want to see them go after and sign that talented person. And I feel like so much in wrestling, it's one side or the other, and you're becoming all WWE. No, all these guys are trained wrestlers, and they're going to want to work for a company. And if one of those companies is not WWE and they have the money and wherewithal to bring them on, then yes, I'm excited to see what can happen with that character. And I'm excited for that wrestler to earn a paycheck and take care of his family. And hopefully it can be fun and exciting and stimulating for all of us as we get to sit back and enjoy it all.
Yeah, and someone who I bet will have something to say about that is Eric Bischoff, who hosts 83 Weeks on the Ad-Free Shows channel. He always covers a little bit of current wrestling at the top of his show. And remember, you guys can get all of the Ad-Free Shows early and ad-free if you sign up at adfreeshows.com. You can also subscribe to be a top guy and get some of your comments read tonight. Let's tap into a little few more of those before we wrap up tonight. Adam Hunter said, well, Adam Hunter, you missed your opportunity. Run it back to NXT about 3 years ago, and I'm sure all that stuff still exists on the network. So thank you for that. And Ryan Connolly.
Yes, good one, Ryan.
Thank you. He wants us to talk about Xavier Woods' Scott Hall impersonation. Ryan said he loved it. I loved it too.
Hey, it was fantastic. It was something different. At first, I thought, what's going on? Now, the whole moist bit and all that, it felt like it was filler. But, Xavier Woods, that was fun. And the nod to Scott Hall, the bad guy, loved it. So definitely enjoyed that part of the show, too. At least that piece of it. Had a lot of fun. John Morrison, man, he's a talented guy. He's talented on the mic. I saw someone on social media say, man, I just wish they would try to figure out how they can, run with him on his own at some point and see if they can't really put the machine behind him. I'm a John Morrison fan. When he was on the Independence there after he left, got to see him at WrestleCade, as some of the other folks here in the chat did as well, and see him perform. And I really hoped big things for him when he came back. I know he's hot right now with The Miz, but I'm really looking forward to see what they can do with him in the next several months or so, too. So we'll see what happens there. I'm staying optimistic.
Adam said, America's Most Wanted.
The word moist just cracks me up. Hey, speaking of ad-free shows, I know you mentioned it. I talked about WrestleGamia. Thursday, the 26th, is Book Club, the final bell with Mike Mooneyham. He's going to join the Zoom Queen Lauren Yaffe for Book Club this month. But it's really a really cool time, Christy, where our members, our top guys, get to sit around, and my push members, and go through with the author the book they wrote and ask them questions about the book. And a lot of these guys that are here chime in and get to ask them different behind the scenes stories to writing the book. So don't miss that. That's this Thursday, 8 p.m. And then on Saturday, if you're not sick of me yet, I'm going to be back for Ask Dr. Tom Pritchard Anything. And Dr. Tom and I work on a show called X-Ray. And so Saturday, the 28th at 7 p.m. Eastern, Dr. Tom and I are going to be together for another event. So you have Christy following that up, as she mentioned already, last day of the month with Jonathan Coachman. That's right. So lots of fun stuff at Ad-Free Shows. Wanted to put a cheap plug in there real quick. If you're not a member, you can find this content and so much others and so many interactive events that we're doing over there. And we appreciate all your support. I know these guys all by first name, thanks to Ad-Free Shows. And so really think it's a great community to be a part of.
Yeah, I'm getting to that point too, and it sure is a lot of fun. The top guys always come up with great questions for our guests. And James Elcaroy said, Book Club rocks.
It does. Hey, I got to be a part of Book Club for so many months, and we had so many great authors on there, and it ended up being one of the low-key, I think, most exciting events to be a part of. We got to talk to so many great authors that were so good with their time and answered questions and would do some special things for our top guys. So it's one of those hidden gems, if you will, on adfreeshows.com.
All right. Well, we have covered all of tonight's matches and looked forward to what's going to happen this week on Raw and SmackDown. Want to thank all of our top guys, Ryan and Mark and Eddie and the Doc 87, Nick, Eric, James, all of you, so many of you guys joining us tonight. Doug, we certainly appreciate it. And, next time we hope that Jeff can join us and share all of his thoughts on the show as well. In the meantime, a couple of you are walking away with an autographed picture tonight. So that's pretty cool.
And make sure you check out his podcast, My World. It's the #1 wrestling podcast in all the land with he and Conrad. And they get granular on that show, but we hope you're enjoying My World podcast. Again, fantastic content all around. And Jeff Jarrett is telling some great stories of his time in the business. Conrad called him the human fast forward button when he was a wrestler, but now he's something else as a storyteller in the podcast form, doing a great job, Christy.
Oh, and I'm sure Conrad is regretting that every single week when he sits down with Jeff.
Oh, they have
We
a good
love
time.
the show. We do. And Paul, if everybody out there wants to keep up with you or maybe suggest some guests they want to see available for the top guys, or just tell you how awesome they thought you were tonight.
Oh, please.
Where can they do that at?
Well, they know where to find me. I'm on Twitter and Instagram at Paulie Bewell, as in the name here. And you can track me down on both those social media platforms. And they see enough of this ugly mug all through ad-free shows. You mentioned at the top of the show, filling in for Conrad on some of the shows. I was just on the most recent Kurt Angle. Actually, it drops out to the main feed tomorrow. I was got to host in that. On this coming Thursday's Grilling JR, jumped in for that one. It was the very first Smackdown, seasonal Smackdown that ever aired. I got to co-host along that with Jim Ross. So that's going to drop on Thursday as well. So you can find me all those places. But Christy, you know what? I think I'm going to share as an exclusive right here. Nobody knows this. You and I are going to get together.
Do I not even know this?
Oh, you know, but you don't know that I'm about to share it. You and I are going to get together next week, and we're going to do a little special project together. And we're going to introduce ad-free shows to Christy, because I'm going to record a show with Christy, an interview style show as bonus content for ad-free shows. And we're going to get to know Christy. I have pages of notes ready. We're going to learn about her upbringing and working in the business and all kinds of good stuff, kind of a get to know Christy. And so I'm really excited about that. I'm really excited to get to know you a little bit more.
Oh, well, I'm excited to talk about that too, Paul, and also to share some of my time on the indies and some other, I've got some good stories from being on the road with WWE that I haven't told yet. So look forward to sitting down with you, Paul, and for you to get all that out of me. I just know that you will.
We will, and the guys are commenting, Top Guy Weekend, it's coming, Labor Day weekend, I'll be there, we're gonna have a great time. Top Guys, love you, can't wait. I'm telling you, it's a packed weekend. We're gonna have a good time.
And you guys can always keep up with me at Christy Reports. Thank you guys so much for joining us live, and happy SummerSlam night. Take care, and we will see you soon.
Thank you all. Love you. Have a great weekend. Appreciate it. See you, Christy.
Bye-bye.